Hello again, this is Debbie. Welcome and thank you for joining me. Because I've been having such great success with the swipes, with the acrylic pouring, I've decided that I'm going to do another swipe today. Rather than quit while I'm ahead, I'm going to try something a little bit different, and this time I'm just using two colours. So I've got this bright red and my white. And what I would like to do is a dive flag, because I'm a really keen scuba diver, and so is my husband, and he actually works as a scuba diving instructor here in the Cayman Islands and drives the boat, takes customers out. So I want to try and create a pour that looks a bit like a dive flag, and that if I pull my canvas across, a dive flag is typically red with a white stripe that goes from corner to corner. So I've already just prepped my canvas by just painting some red here and here and a little bit of white in the corner, just so I don't have to worry about these edges. And then what I'm going to try and do is pour and then swipe the white from the center out slightly over the red and see if I can create some kind of interesting cells. So if I pull this to one side, here's my red ready mixed. I wanted a bit more red today. Oh look, it's thickened up a little bit. I need to add some more water. So I've gone with 2 tablespoons of the red paint, 1 tablespoon of Floetrol, and I did have 1 tablespoon of water, but then I got distracted and I've been off doing something else for a little while, helping my husband with some paperwork, and my paint's thickened up a little bit. Let me give it a little extra pour. It probably needs a little bit more still. So yes, 2 tablespoons of the paint, 1 of Floetrol. This is my Floetrol just here, this paint additive, and then enough water, which is typically about the same as the Floetrol. But I've had to add a little bit more because I've had it standing, and I do want to make sure that when I put the red and the white together that they're going to bleed together and hopefully create some interesting effects. Okay, that looks better. Then I've got my silicone spray, because I want to create the cell effect where the two are going to kind of bubble up through each other. So I've got my silicone spray and I've poured it into my little pot here. And normally I only have a couple of spots, but I've made twice as much paint today. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still not too much, and we'll see how it goes. My white's already pre-mixed because I make up a big thing in advance, and I've got the Floetrol, the water and the silicone in there. So I just need to give it a shake. And now I'm going to pull this canvas across and get started. So I've got my levels in place and everything looks good, so I think we're ready to go. So what I want to do is create some red areas here out to the corners and then white down the middle. I wasn't really sure how much paint, so whether I'm going to have enough or not I don't know, but I want the most of the paint on here, and I can always drag it out more to these edges anyway. So I think I'll start by creating, I could even do it with my stick here. I want to create a line something like that, and then on this side something about like that. That looks about right. So then I want white in the middle and red out on these edges. So I'm just going to pour it, I think, a little bit, and then I can spread it with my knife. I'm still very new to this, so I really don't know how much paint volume I need all the time. So let's see how this goes. I've not ever tried spreading the paint with the palette knife before either. So far so good, it looks kind of smooth. Obviously I want a nice bright red colour, so I don't want it to be too thin so that I'm getting the white of the canvas through, because then it would look a bit pink. So let's see. That looks good. Spread a little bit on this side. I'm glad I painted those edges anyway. It meant I don't have to worry too much about that. And now I can also make sure that I'm getting plenty of the paint up on this edge where I'm going to do my swipe. See, I've actually got loads on this side. I can probably even pull a little bit off so I don't get too much. Oh, I don't know, I'll leave it there, because I don't want to make the edges too pink. And when I swipe anyway, I'm guessing it will already come off the sides. Okay, does that look about right? Maybe a little more here, I don't know. A bit more there. Okay, I think I'm good. I'm going to give this a good wipe because I'm going to put this in the white in a minute, and I don't want to make my white pink, so I'm going to wipe it really good and make sure that hopefully my white stays white. But we'll see. Okay, so let's give this white a shake. Oh, I've already got a couple of little spots of red there. See if I can pick those up. I don't know what I'm doing, clearly. I wet it, see if I can. There we go. Okay, hopefully that'll fix it. And now I'm going to pour this white down the centre. Now again, I want to make sure I've got plenty because I need it to swipe over the red. I don't mind if I've got too much. I've only got these economy plates anyway, so they're not too expensive. Okay, I think we're good. So already I can see the two paints mixing in together. Okay, so let's see. I need to keep my cloth on hand. I'm just going to spread the white, make sure it's out to the edges. Fill in these little gaps, push it up to the edge of the red, but I don't want to get it on don't want to get the red on there. Okay, so I think I'm ready to swipe. I'm already liking the way it's going out like that, so let's see. Good, clean every time. Okay, one side successful. Oh, I've got a little bit of pink transfer there, not too bad. Let's do this other side. And there. Okay. So let's wait and see what happens. What I'm hoping is I'll end up with a clear white stripe down the center, but the red is going to start popping through all of these white areas. So let's just zoom in the camera a little bit and we'll see what happens. So I'm still in wait and see mode just now. I would ideally like a bit more red to come through on these edges. Maybe I made my stripe too wide, seeing I was already going to spread it out. Maybe I should have made it narrower. So I think I'm going to torch it and see if I can get more red to come through. My torch is a bit fierce, so I'm going to stand well back. Okay, so it's not made my stripe any narrower, it's not brought any red here. So I think that I probably made a bit of an error there and I've made my stripe too wide. Let me give it a little minute and see what happens again. Okay, I've got to torch a bit more. Actually, when I'm doing that, it tends to be breaking down these red cells anyway, and I'm actually making them a little bit more white, so I don't think I'm helping it. I think I'm just going to sit and wait and see what happens. Oh, this is interesting. It's made a few little streaks out here. That's probably where I hit it with the torch, is it? It's caused the paint to spread a little bit, although I've got some here and here too, so it's probably just where the red and the white are kind of bleeding. But it's the kind of effect that I was looking for anyway, just a bit too much white. So now I know that, I can decide hopefully to make another one and go with a much narrower band of white so that I can kind of swipe out from the band more. And then the two will have a wider mixing area and a narrower kind of plain white band there in the middle. But I like it. It's the effect certainly that I was looking for. Maybe the white's a little bit too wide, but anyone who is a diver would immediately recognize that this is a dive flag anyway, and it has all these cool little cells popping through, which are just like the little coral polyps and everything like that. So it's exactly the kind of look I'm looking for. I'm going to try and make one again, and next time it will be perfect. So let me take the camera in and just give you a little close-up look at some of these really cool cell formations. So we are looking at some of the cells that we've got down here where the red and white are mixing. They're looking really cool. Actually the camera's making it look a bit pink, I think, or at least in my viewfinder, but it's definitely bright red and bright white here in real life. So again, I've got a few smaller cells there, but I've got the larger cells, which is probably more of what I was looking for. And here we are on the other side. It's looking really good here. And you can see where it's starting to just bleed out into the paint. It does look really nice. So that's my swiped dye flag wet. I'm going to put it to one side now, and I'll come back and share a picture of what it looks like when it's dry. So this is the flag painting dry, and it does have a few problems with it. Firstly, I don't know if you'll actually be able to see, but in the white area here, there are lots, especially in this centre area, lots of little bumps. I can't see without my glasses on in the camera anyway, to see if you'll be able to see them. I think probably you can. Yes, if I bring it right in. See all these little bumps here in the centre? I'm not sure what that is. I think it might be bubbles. So perhaps because my white comes in one of these bottles like this, and I give it a good shake before I use it, so I think I probably introduced a lot of bubbles to it, and then of course as it dried, all the bubbles stayed in the paint just here. So now I've got this big kind of bubbly, bumpy area just here. And also the canvas bowed a little bit, as you can see, as it was drying. So what I did was I tried to flex it to straighten it out, and actually what's happened is the paint here has come away a little bit here and here. Again, you probably can't see, but it's like a little bubble, where when I flexed the canvas, it's actually come away from the canvas just here in a couple of spaces here and here. So I don't think we can call this one a success. I absolutely adore the way it looks, and I am going to just finish it. I'm not going to worry about the imperfections. I'm going to stick some nice layers of varnish on this, and it will come out all nice and shiny, and I will put it under a couple of heavy books or something, and my husband and I will have this proudly displayed on our wall. So even though it's not perfect, it's still perfect for us. Anyway, I've learned a few more lessons from it, so I need to put those into action in my next one. Thanks for watching.